everybody, it's Risa from Hudson Valley Vintage. Tonight we have something a little bit different, something like we've never really done before. But recently I took up loom knitting and using a loom just like this. And I've made a few scarves and shared pictures, and a lot of you have said that you want to try loom knitting too. So I'm going to give you a little tutorial. This is actually going to be the first half of the tutorial, casting on and doing your knitting, and then I'll do casting off as a second part, not tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to take a seat. I want to thank Annette for volunteering to help me tonight. So here's one of the scarves that I made. This one I really like because I like gray, and I'm going to be showing you the same pattern that I did on here. I just used some really inexpensive yarn. I went to Michael's and I bought some bulky weight yarn, and the scarf I'm going to start tonight, I'm using the same yarn in a different color, so I'll show you exactly what it is. This one I did on a wider loom, and I'm making a wider scarf. This is a gift for somebody, and they're probably watching. I hope you like it. I won't say who it's for. Tonight, I'm gonna start it on a smaller loom. So these looms, there's lots of different types, different companies that make them. Some of them are made out of wood. This one happens to be made out of plastic. They're not expensive. I bought this in a set of, it came in a set of 4, and it also came with some other tools that you need. But if you end up getting just a loom, this is what else you need. You need a pair of scissors, any kind of scissors. These are really nice craft scissors that I like. You need this little pick. It comes with these. If you can't, if you end up just getting the loom, you can get one of these like in Michael's or Joann's. Then you need one other thing, which I have in here. We're not gonna need this tonight, but this is a large needle to use for yarn, and you want to make sure that you have a very large opening there for the yarn to fit through it. But we're not going to be using this tonight. This is what we're going to be using when we're casting off. So this is the yarn that I'm using tonight. I have 2 of these skeins, and that's what I used on this one. I used 2 skeins. If you don't know what a skein is, it's the way the ball of yarn comes in the store. So this is the yarn that I'm using tonight. I got it at Michael's. It's called Loops and Threads, multi-marled acrylic. It is bulky, so if you've ever bought yarn or looked at yarn, you'll see there's a little symbol of a skein of yarn, and it tells you right on there what size it is. I've only seen up to 6. So this is the loom, as I said, and it has all these little pegs, and they come in different sizes and different shapes. This is a long or rectangular loom. What they all have are these little notches. Can you see those? Mm-hmm. And what that's for is to fit this little tool in, and I'm going to show you in a couple minutes what you do with that. And then there's pegs on the ends, which I'm going to use to start and then take off. There's round looms, there's oval looms. I just bought, I'm not ready to try it yet, but I bought a blanket loom, which is like a giant, it's like a figure 8. I'm a little hooked on this. I know, that's a bad pun. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just gonna unwind a little of my yarn. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take my yarn and I'm gonna make a little knot. I wanna leave a little bit on the end because I need to be, when I'm finished, and I'll show you that in the second part, I'm gonna sort of need a little bit. So you don't need a huge amount, but you just wanna have a little bit, and I'm gonna just make a knot. Doesn't have to be any kind of special knot. and I'm gonna put it on this peg. And I'm gonna tighten it. So once that is done, I'm actually gonna take the same little end and I'm gonna put another knot in it, only because I don't want to get confused and start adding that into my scarf. We're only gonna leave this here for a couple of rows and then we're gonna let it go to the bottom. But for now, it just keeps our yarn in place. So let's get started. I'm gonna take my yarn and I'm gonna go all the way around my first peg right there. And I'm gonna come across and go around to the next peg. And I'm gonna just keep doing this in a figure eight motion. Okay, so now I'm coming to the last one. So I'm gonna come across and I'm gonna go over it. So I wanna make sure it goes all the way around. And then I'm just gonna hold it there with my thumb. Okay, so that's the first casting on. This is actually the hardest part, believe it or not, and it's really easy. So I need to do another row. So to do another row, I need to push these down. So I have found it really easy to just take my finger and go into the middle of the loom and push it down with my pointer finger. So I like to work from the right. So what I'm gonna do is just turn this around again. And I am going to come straight across and start over again. Then I'm gonna go to the end again, just like I did before. And again, just like I did before, I'm gonna hold it down with my thumb. So here's where I take my little pick thing. And I'm going to actually take the bottom loop and pull it over the top. So you'll see there's a little cutout right here at the bottom. So you can just put your little pick right in there. The first one that you do of the scarf is actually the hardest to do because it's a little bit tight. And you want to just be careful that you're not pulling that loop over too. And there it is. See, it's just sitting right there. The top loop stays on. See that? Now I've got all of these off. So I'm going to turn this around. And I have a whole nother side. You're gonna notice that there's always one peg. It's always one of the corners that only has one loop on it already. We're not taking that off, okay? We're gonna leave that on and it's gonna alternate. So the scarf is going to have sort of a little bit of a soft, can you see how it's got like a, oh, what is this? It's got like a sort of a soft edge, and that's what that does. You just want to remember not to take that off. So now what I like to do is just take a quick second and look on both sides and make sure that I've gotten all the loops. There should just be one loop on each of these. So now I need to make room for another loop, for another row. So I'm just gonna push this down again with my finger. Really simple. And this is our first row underneath. All right, so here's my next one. So for my first one, this just goes straight across, around, and I start my figure eight again. And now you can start to see.
Oh, it comes down through the bottom.
Yep. So I've done I've done about 5 rows so far, I think. I'm not counting. You don't have to count. So what I'm going to do now is take this loop off that I did in the beginning, and I'm just going to pull this through because I want to get it out of the way. So I'm just pulling it through, and now I'm just going to leave it hanging. But here we go with our scarf, and here's the one I'm working on. This one I'm almost done with, so when I'm done with this one, I'm going to come back on and do another live and show you how to finish it. But you could still see this little piece hanging, and it's not in the way. So because I'm using, so here's this loom, and then here's this one. So because I'm using a longer loom, I'm sort of making it a shawl, more of a shawlish type of a scarf. This one is more of an average, you know, scarf. That's pretty much it. From here, you're just gonna keep doing exactly what we did until you feel that your scarf is long enough. If you want your scarf to be a certain length, then just keep measuring, you know, how long it is. What I like to do, I'll show you what I have found really easy. Now I'm making this one for somebody, and like, I've kind of just, you know, put it on myself and seen, you know, how much more I need to go. So with this one, I kind of want it to be about this length on both sides. So I'm hoping that what I have left here is going to be enough. If not, then I'll go get another skein, because I know where I got it, and I have the paper. I would definitely recommend keeping the little paper until you're completely done with your project, because if you need to get more, you know, you can figure out exactly the yarn that you had. Does anybody have any questions?
Is that all from one skein so far?
No.
That's
so
on your second.
So I joined another skein. I bet I can't find it. I did join another skein, and I think it was right around here that I joined the other skein, because the reason I'm saying that was it started a little more yellow, and then it got to the, you know, into these colors. I think it was right around here. So I'm hoping it'll be like double this. And you can even join the yarn, and, you know, if you wanted to do a color block, so let's say this was all solid and I wanted to do a few different colors, you can do that. Joining the yarn is super easy. I thought that it was going to be like some big secret, but it's really not. It's just tying a really good knot, trimming off the edges of it, and you know, that's pretty much it. I will do a little live on that at some point with this one, just to show you how to do that, and then I'll come back another time and finish this one. So that's pretty much it, guys. It is that easy. It really is. So go to the store, get a loom if you don't already have one. You need the loom, you need your little pick, you'll need a pair of scissors at some point, and you will need there's a special name for this needle, but I'm calling it a yarn needle. Basically, you need it to be thick enough to fit the yarn through there. This is going to be used at finishing, so you don't need it immediately. But if you buy a kit like I did, it should come with the looms, or the loom, and these two items, and that's all you need. Okay?
Very good. And
good.
yarn.
And the yarn, the bulky yarn. I recommend using size 4. Thank you guys so much. Take care, everybody. Thank you.